Space, your boy Scarface, and welcome back to another episode. I want to thank you guys for always tuning in every week. Shout out to the people who listen to this, like, as soon as it comes out, you guys are listening to it, messaging me right away, telling me how much you guys enjoy it and things like that. It really does motivate me and like keeps me on my toes and making sure I'm giving you guys podcasts every week. But unfortunately, next weekend, I don't think I'm going to be able to have a podcast episode ready for you guys just because I will be in Cali this weekend and I will be recording some podcast episodes out there. So I don't think I'll have enough time to get back, edit them the way I wanted to, and then like release it. I would rather just take that time and then, you know, kind of like make sure everything is ideally how I want. Meaning like how I want to roll out the podcast. Because again, I'm going to be recording with Jackie, be recording with Melissa. So definitely make sure you guys tune into those. Second thing that I do want to talk about, well, again, thank you. If you guys are watching this on Spotify or YouTube, please give us a thumbs up or like this video. Leave a 5-star review. Anything you guys can helps out the podcast a lot. So, all right. So we got a couple things we need to talk about before we actually get into the episode. First things first, I think it's the biggest thing. I am thinking about rebranding the podcast, meaning like I am going to change the name and the colors just because. So let me tell you where Mezcla Moguls came from, right? So shout out to my buddy Weech and Julio. We were the ones that kind of first started this podcast. And this podcast it started as it was going to be like not a YouTube, but like a shoe type of thing, right? But it wasn't that. And then from there it went into like a business type of thing, right? Like inviting people who own businesses, entrepreneurs, different stories and things like that. So that's where the name finally came when we started doing that. Mezcla of Moguls, Mix of Moguls, which means like a mogul is like someone who's like doing a lot of things in their world, like a mogul, somebody you want to look up to, somebody you want to be like, and which was great. Like I love the podcast. I still love the name to this day, but it just does not fit what we talk about now. And sometimes you got to change the name. Like it's been growing a lot. It's been growing drastically, and I know a lot of people know the name already. But before it gets even bigger, I do want to change it to something that relates to more of what I talk about now, because that's where I found it works for me. It's what I like, and a lot of people are doing the whole business entrepreneur type of thing, and so I just don't want to be the same as everybody else. And it was getting, when I slowed down, it was getting kind of like repetitive. Talking to local people, like I love it. Don't get me wrong, it's fun to me, but other people were starting to do the same thing, and I was just not. I was like, this is cool and everything, but like, how do I grow outside of Idaho? Even though it was doing well, I was like, how do I make it grow outside of Idaho? How do I make it big, like huge? And talking about local people, local places is not going to make you huge on a podcast. Talking about intimacy and relationships and things like that, that's what put it on a whole different level. So that's why I need to change the name before I get further into it. Just something a little bit more relatable to what I talk about. So I'm just going through like different options of names and things like that. Nothing set in stone. I just do want to change it to something different just because it doesn't fit the podcast, meaning like that name doesn't fit what we talk about what we do. So I'm thinking about something just cool, clever, that will really go with what we talk about. So just letting you guys know, if you ever see like out of nowhere something change, like the Instagram page name change, the logos change, the intro change. Obviously, I'm not going to say Mezcla Moguls anymore. Then you know it changed, and I'm just gonna see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what I end up choosing. So I just want to let you guys know that before I actually do it, because then people are gonna be like, what is going on here? And then second is I am moving so if you see it change, I mean, it's going to be kind of similar of what I'm going to be doing in the new spot, meaning like the way I'm going to change the background and stuff like that. So I'm changing that too. So that's another reason why I don't want to rush, like won't have time to record a podcast episode for it to come out next week, because I just got a lot of things that I'm doing right now. And especially if you listen to the podcast where I announced that I am not a full-time, but I am a real estate agent now as well. I'm going to be pushing that type of content out here soon. Just waiting on a few things to get back before I actually get the ball rolling on that. I'm just making sure it's every recording, because I think that's my biggest thing, is like, that's recording. Uh, but today's podcast, what I wanted to get into is lying, because this has actually been a pretty popular topic in a lot of videos, is like people who lie. Now, uh, I've always said this before, like, of course I've lied before. Everybody's lied. There hasn't been a person that hasn't lied. But when I'm talking to somebody, the only reason I lie to them now is because I'm trying to do something cool for them. Meaning like, oh, I'm over here, but low key on my way to come see you, or something like that. Um, or dropping something off, like lying like that. Because there's people who like lie about everything, like their height, their weight, their kids, if they're in a relationship or not. They lie about everything. So I just didn't want you guys to think that. I mean, that's what I meant. Like, I don't want you guys to think that that's what I meant when I said I was would lie to somebody. So, but lying can affect a lot. And I always tell people to pay attention to this in the beginning, because if they can lie to you about those little things in the beginning, they can lie to you about a lot of stuff, or what else can they lie to you about? So that's something you definitely need to be aware of, just because if they can lie about little things in the beginning like that, later on, obviously big things, they're definitely going to lie to you about. So that's something that definitely pay attention to. But so I'm going to give you like 10 different reasons why it can affect a relationship, especially in the beginning. If you get into a relationship and it's fairly new, and you're catching this person lying, or you're feeling like you need to lie to the person, that relationship is not going to go so high. I'm just letting you know right now. All right, number one that we have is trust foundation. Lying early can undermine the trust needed to build a strong foundation for a relationship. And this one is very true, because when I start talking to somebody, right, I trust whatever they say. I give you the benefit of the doubt, because there's always people who will always come around and be like, oh, this person this, and just because they're trying to ruin whatever you guys got going on, you never know what some people's intentions are, because we've seen it before. I remember I started talking to a girl one time, and then a girl out of nowhere popped out, and she was like, he was talking to so-and-so at this time, way before I even started talking, you know what I mean? Like, started talking to this girl. And so her only intention was to probably try to ruin whatever I had going on with this girl. So, but that's why, like, I always give people the benefit of the doubt in the very beginning of a relationship. Like, if you say this, cool. And that's why I always tell, like, for example, another example I give you, like my little brother, when he does the photo booths with me, I tell him, hey, like, I don't care what you do. Like, if you start at 8, if you tell me you start at 8 p.m., I'm going to believe you start at 8 p.m. But if you show up late or something happens and you start at 8:10, you need to go until like 3 hours from there, right? Because I'm going to trust that you said that to that, or whatever happened, because sometimes in the party world, like, if you start late, people over exaggerate. He could have started like 10 minutes late, and they could have been like, he started a whole 45 minutes late, but then he still left at that time. And just things like that. But I'm like, I'm going to trust you and have your back if that's what you tell me. So that's why if you do like start late, I know that you're going to end at this time. And like, I can trust his word, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Because other people can come and give you all this false information, or just like over exaggerate some things. So same thing goes for relationships with me. Like, if I'm going to trust this person, because you should trust this person and what they tell you at face value, because like, you don't know if they're lying, you don't know if they're telling you the truth when they tell you they're single. So you're believing they're single, right? Unless they're giving you a reason that they're not single. So that's why, like, a lot of people fall for it, be like, I didn't even know he was in a relationship. Well, because you believed him, and that's normal to believe somebody when they tell you something like that, because you're assuming that person is single, or else they would not be there. So I always trust, and if that were to be broken right away in the beginning, trust me, I don't think I would be able to go much more with that relationship, Like you already broke the trust here in the very beginning. You lied about this. You could have just said the truth. I would have been cool with the truth. Instead, you like lie here, lied about this, lied about that, and then you're just like, what else can this person lie about? So, and it goes vice versa. Like if you're dating some guy and he lies to you about his his height, his like weight, his just whatever. Like if he's giving you all these little like lies in the beginning, what makes you think in the future he won't lie about him talking to another girl, him meeting another girl, him doing this with another girl? So that's why like trust is huge. And for those thinking that, oh, it's just like a little lie here, it's gonna get better. No, they're gonna get worse. Like, and plus now that trust is just not there for me anymore. So just think about that. Number two that we have is establishing authenticity. Honesty is crucial for understanding each other's true selves, fostering genuine connections. And I love it when somebody's honest. If somebody can be honest and upfront with me, totally cool. I love that. And this is why I say, like, uh, if I start talking to somebody, me assuming that I'm the only person that they're talking to is pretty dumb on me, because we barely met, right? And then we barely started hanging out, if that. And then for me to be like, oh, she wasn't talking. And it could have been that she wasn't talking to anybody, but I always assume that they may be talking to other people. Uh, and if they think that of me, then that's totally fine too, because it's fine. It's normal to think that of other people when they're single. Uh, and just being upfront, like say this is why I say, like, when you guys ask these questions in the beginning, like should you tell the other person that you're dating multiple people? I mean, if you're just meeting this guy for the first time, I don't think so. I don't think you need to be like, yo, just I'm like, I got options, bro, or anything like that. Just mainly like, hey, like I'm, you know, dating, seeing what's out there, so like that way, like if they do ask you out again, or just be honest, like if they see you out, or if you know that they're gonna see you out too, just be like, yo, I'm just, you ask me on a date, I'm gonna see how we vibe out. Like I'm gonna see how this person is, because just because somebody asks you out does not mean that that person is for you forever, right? Because we've all been on dates with people that we've just probably never even talked to anymore, or it just didn't work out. So just being honest. I'm always honest. Like if I need to be honest about certain situations, uh, like me doing this type of stuff, the content, I'm straight up honest. I bring it up right away. Meaning like I'm like, this is what I do. I don't plan on stopping doing it, any of it, or censoring myself, or not saying certain things, or not flirting a certain way. I'm gonna keep doing it. And if you're not okay with that, then fine. We're not meant for each other right now. It's just a bad time. Or if you're cool with it, okay, we can see where it goes. But I'm straight up honest and just tell them, like, this is what I'm doing right now, and this is what it's gonna be. Uh, and that's why another reason probably why I'm single, but I'm okay with it. Um, the next one that we have is future communication. Early lies might indicate challenges in open communication, a vital aspect for resolving issues in the long run. And I think this is just like in general for guys. Like we already struggle communicating with people, especially girls. So imagine if you catch this person lying. Like if you catch him lying and he clearly lies to your face, or he doesn't know how to explain doesn't how to explain why he had to lie, and it just sounds dumb. What makes you think like later on when you guys get in fights and arguments that he's somehow he figured the code, and it's gonna be different, and he's gonna be able to communicate with you? No, bring it up right away, call his ass out on his lies, and then be like, yo, what's up? And see how he answers. If you like how he answers, then, um, or if he's straight up honest, like this is where the honesty comes up, because this this helps you in the future, meaning like you're gonna be able to see like how he communicates, how he is as a person. And so if you don't like how he communicates and stuff right now, what makes you think that later on he's not gonna be able to his communication skills are gonna, be better, and then he's gonna be able to explain his, because it's not gonna be a great ride forever. Meaning like you guys are gonna have fights, you guys are gonna have arguments. It's gonna happen. Like it happens in relationships. You can't stop it. Something happens, you guys argue. So seeing these little things in the beginning, definitely like for the future. Let's see. The next one that we have is setting a precedent. Lying at the start sets the negative precedent, potentially leading to a pattern of dishonesty in the relationship. And see this, I said it in the beginning with the trust foundation. Like if you have to lie about certain things, like in the beginning that you didn't need to lie about, or you could have just been straight up honest. To me, I'm going to feel like I'm not going to be able to trust this person. And would I want to be with somebody like that? Absolutely not. Before, I really didn't care. Now I actually do. Um, Before I would have been like, oh, how it's not that bad, like we'll see where it goes, or you get blinded to it, it becomes blurry. But then later on, you're like, I should have paid attention to his lying ass or her lying ass. So definitely pay attention to it. I've learned in the past, little lies in the beginning are definitely huge lies later on. Like they'll lie about everything. They can lie about everything, and they're willing to lie about everything. Um, what did I watched this documentary, and they were basically saying a liar is gonna lie. Like they're going to lie. And I know Cat Williams just said it in his documentary or his sit down interview with uh, Club Shay Shay. So uh, people will lie, and even when they get caught, they'll still lie. So that's why it's a big thing for me. I always give somebody that trust in the beginning, and if they break that for some reason, I don't think I would be able to continue because you know that trust is gone, and to rebuild that to you, like, you're just gonna feel that type of way. That's why, like, whenever I tell people about cheating, like if somebody were to cheat on me, would I be able to get back with them? Absolutely not, because that trust is gone. Now I'm gonna feel like every time this person is said they're gonna go do this, last time they said the same thing, but they were cheating or doing something shady, and so now you're always gonna be thinking about that. You're gonna be thinking, like, if I put myself in that place, I'd be like, is she cheating on me? Does she love him? Does she even love me? And you just beat yourself up like that. So no, if I can't trust somebody, if I cannot trust somebody, I don't care if it's in a relationship or just people around me, you're not gonna be around me. Like I've gone through the whole people being shady, because trust me, people talk, lies get out, and this is why like I only trust a handful of people. Uh, because somebody will be like, oh yeah, like talk all good about you, and then as soon as you leave, they talk bad about you, and then you find out. But then I know, but to your face, I'll be like, everything cool, but in reality, I know what you were saying. So trust is a huge thing for me, and like this is why I wanted to do the lying podcast, because a lot of people were like, oh, what about these little white lies in the beginning? The only time I ever lie to somebody now is if I'm trying to do something cool. Say, hey, like she's working or something, and I'm working, right? Or not working, but I tell her that I'm working, but I'm low key on my way to go get her something, maybe some food, flowers, whatever the case may be, to deliver to her work, to take it to her, to go see her. Little lies like that, or like say I'm trying to do something cool for that person. Oh, like, hey, you said you're gonna be at the gym, but like low key, I'm out like trying to put this master plan together for her, right? Like trying to surprise her with something cool. Meaning like if you're gonna do a scavenger hunt, you can't be like, yo, I'm at the park doing a scavenger hunt, or something like that, or trying to plot that. So that's why like little white lies like that, yes, I do those, but for good reasons, not for bad. Uh, for example, one time I told the girl that I was doing this, but low key I wasn't, because I was getting her flowers. Basically, that's what I was doing. And she was like, I thought you were doing this. And I was like, yeah, but I went to go get this for you. And you can't be mad at that. um, so, all right, the next one that we have is building security. Trust is the cornerstone for emotional security. Security lies can create doubts and insecurities. And see, this is why, I mean, I'm not saying I'm an insecure person. I'm a pretty secure person, right? Confident person, but not everybody is like that. So if you know that you're pretty insecure and you're letting this person lie all over you, like it's just gonna get worse. Like that's why and especially since I always tell you guys that I like to do long distance relationships. So imagine if I was lying about what I was doing, right? Like, oh, I'm working, but low key I'm over here hanging out with a girl. But you don't know that because you live all the way over there, you know? And I don't want to live the other way either, too, where she tells me she's working, but reality she's not working. She's out doing shady stuff. And I'm over here, being all good. So um that's a little conflict over long distance relationships. I mean, we can get into that some other time, but trust issues, like that's the biggest thing is so um but you also have to build that security and like and imagine when you're trying to build that in the beginning of a relationship and it shatters multiple times. Like how are you going to build that just because lies here, lied about this, lied about that. And if they can lie again, if they can lie about the littlest things, like their height, are they not going to see you? Or uh, I remember this one girl. She was like, I was dating this dude, and he lied about his he had a kid. Like, you think this girl's not never gonna find out that you have a kid? Like, are you just gonna mask it as a brother? See, and I remember this is why I like talking about this. I remember I was talking to a girl one time, and she told me her daughter was her sister, and I believed it until I found out that wasn't her sister. And I'm just like, why would you lie about that, right? But then later on, like I found out like more lies. Now, like at the time, you really didn't even think about it. You're just like, well, that's weird. Um, and then you just go on, you're blinded to it, whatever, cool. But then now looking back at that, I can see like she was a constant liar, lied about this, lied about that, lied about this. And I'm just like right now, I'm just like, fuck, like I should have the shit you have to go through in order to learn that stuff type of stuff. Like now, if I'm talking to a girl and she tells me that her kid is her sister, I'd be like, bullshit. I was like, you treat her like a daughter. So again, like the things you have to go through to learn, and that's why like this stuff does so well, just because I'm not just talking out of my ass about some of these things. Like shit has happened to me, or I have done it to people. Uh, let's see. Compability check honestly helps assessing compability. Lies may distort the perception between partners, and see, like again, like I don't think I would get to that point where to see if we're compatible, if I'm compatible with this person. Well, yeah, it'd probably be that because if this person lies to me like that about little things, we're not compatible at all. And it's funny that people are like, oh, if somebody were to lie to me, I would not be with them. BS, because a lot of people who've gotten into relationships, right, gotten into relationships or are in relationships, your partner has lied like several times, and you've let them get away with it, and they probably answered it like, "Oh, I'll like something stupid," because trust me, sometimes we give the dumbest explanations, but yeah, you still stay, and then they know they can keep lying about stuff. You see how like it gets worse. That's why like if someone were to cheat, they get you back. Now they know how to get you back. And so what makes you think that they're not going to make sure you're okay, and then once they find somebody else to cheat on you again, but then now they know what to do to get you back. So definitely like even if it was like a white lie like I do, totally fine. I totally get that because I do that, right? But if it's just like simple lies, and definitely on the bigger lies, yeah, I'm out. So number 7 is emotional safety. Openness and truthfulness contribute to emotional safety, which is crucial for healthy relationships. And it's true because people are always talking about emotional intelligence, emotional connections, relation, and stuff like that, right? If they really didn't care about how you feel, like they're going to lie to you, and they're just going to ask for forgiveness later, right? And they really didn't care, because if they went to cheat on you, and then lied about it, they didn't care about your feelings because they wouldn't have done it to begin with. So uh, lying can create those like emotional damage. You're always gonna be, and it sucks because when you let somebody constantly like do this to you over and over and over, now you think that the future people. That's why it ruins it for future people, future relationships. Now you're assuming that they're gonna do the same thing, right? And again, it's happened to me. That's why like I have a hard time committing to people because I always feel like people are going to leave at a certain point because if I feel like people just come and then they go, come and then they go. Whether it's my fault, their fault, whatever the case may be, I just feel like it's a constant. Like it's only a matter of time before this person is not here. So again, I did a whole podcast episode on that too. So make sure it's because you have to protect your emotional self at all times too. Uh, he's not going to. He's not going to. Your parents can only care so much. At the end of the day, they have to care about themselves too because everybody has to take care. Only you can make you happy. No one's gonna go out their way to make sure that you're 100% happy, right? Because what about them? Who's making sure that they're 100% happy? That way they can make you 100%. No, we have to. That's why we have to be selfish sometimes. We have to focus on ourselves sometimes and put us first. Most of the times, mostly all the times, because I'm. Before I tried not to be such a selfish person, but now no, I choose me like 99% of the time. Like what's best for me, what's good for me, because at the end of the day, only me is gonna put whatever's best, whatever's good for me, like there, and do that for me. Of course, again, like I've said it before, other people will try to do what's best for you, but they're not gonna do the best for you and then like not even care about themselves. Of course, they're gonna do what's best for you and what your interest, as long as it's benefits their interest. If that makes sense. Like if, for example, like if friends, of course I want the best for all of them, but I'm not gonna stop doing the best for me to make sure to do the best for you, because no one's gonna do the best for like focus on me like that, right? I know it gets a little confusing, but hopefully you understood what I'm trying to point out here. So definitely, always choose yourself. Respecting boundaries. Lying can cross boundaries, indicating a lack of respect for the other person's emotional well being. And what do I say about boundaries all the time? Make sure you have your boundaries and your red flags in the beginning when you guys start dating, or if you're dating. And don't be blinded to them. Don't they all get all blurry, like it says, like, what did it say? Let me see. The respect. Um, well, it just said it can cross, but what I mean, like, it becomes blurry, meaning like, it wasn't that bad, or like, oh, he is high, he is cute, she is hot, she is cute, she is bang. You know what I mean? Like or it's like other reasons. Be like, oh, um, it's fine. It's only early in the relationship. That person will just no. People get blinded to these red flags. These boundaries become blurry. No, if you cross one of my boundaries, or if I see some red flags that I think that are red flags, I'm out. Like, I'm out. I'm not here to like find out if it's gonna work out again or see if they're gonna get better. No. If they were able to cross those boundaries, show those red flags in the beginning, what makes you think later on when you guys are comfortable, or like later on they're gonna do it even worse? So that's why I always say respect your boundaries, because nobody's gonna respect them more than you. Like, but if you don't enforce these boundaries, people are just gonna walk all over you. Avoiding future pain. Addressing lies early prevents potential heartache later on and promotes healthier relationships dynamics. And so I always say is, if you have an issue with somebody, or not issue with somebody, but with your partner, whoever the case may be, bring that issue up soon, as soon as it bugs you, because later on they're gonna be like, well, you never said anything. Why now? And then, because if they do something and then get away with it, and then you bring it up, then it's a problem, because they're like, you never said it before, but now it's a problem. Like, why all of a sudden? Like, did you find a reason to complain today? Does that make sense? Or like, do you guys see where I'm coming from? So that's why I say, like, I remember a girl told me she didn't like my lack of communication towards her, or not communication, but attention. So I always get, for the people that know me, I always focus super hard on the business or whatever I'm doing. And like, I thought I was giving this person enough attention, but I didn't realize I was putting my stuff first. And then she finally was like, hey, like I really don't like how you're not paying it, giving me the attention. Like I feel like you're changing. Like maybe you're losing interest in me, so that's why you're focusing more on that. And I'm like, oh shit, my bad. I didn't realize I was doing that, and I liked her, so that's why I was like, let me change or let me fix whatever I'm doing because I like this person. I'm trying to see where this goes, so let me give her more attention. Basically, obviously, it didn't end up working out for other reasons, but if somebody likes you in the beginning, they're or in if a guy likes you and you bring it up, they're going to change what it is that they're doing wrong to try to court you. If they don't care about you, they're just be like, whatever. Like, I don't know why she's complaining. We ain't gonna be together or something like that, right? So that's why I say bring it up. Do not be afraid to bring something up in fear of this person. They're like, oh, I don't want him to scare him off or run him away. No, we want to scare people off. We want to have them run away because those are the ones that don't want to be with you. If if you bring up an issue and they want to fix it, guess what? Those are the ones you want to keep around. If you bring up an issue and they're just like, too much work, that person wasn't there for you. They weren't there to try to build something with you or try to get to know you or try to, whatever you guys have going on. So that's why I'm saying, don't be afraid to have people run away. You should be wanting these guys to be running away. Because if you bring that up and they're like, nah, that's too much. Cool. That's not the guy for you. And I would have been like, I'm glad I found out now. And number 10, integrity matters. Early lies may suggest a lack of integrity, raising the questions about the partner's moral compass and values. Definitely. Because like, again, like if they lie about anything, like I don't see why getting to know somebody, you have to lie about certain things. If you don't want to talk about certain situations, then cool. There's certain things that I don't talk about in like I wouldn't talk about until I get to know this person later on. I'm not saying I'm gonna lie about the situation. I'm just like, I don't want everybody knowing all my business, especially somebody that you just met, you went on a first date, like, or you're barely getting to know this person. Why would you tell them all your like personal information, mean like the shit that you've been through, things like that? Like, why would you want to tell this person all that, right? Now this person knows, and then if you keep telling people in the beginning, then guess what? Now a lot of people know your business. No, that's why like there's certain things that I won't say. Later on, we can talk about those, like if we even get to that point. But I'll never lie, meaning like, oh no, I don't have a felony. I mean, that's never came up, but I don't have felonies, by the way. But like, say I did, right? And I'm trying to, hey, do you have a felony? I'd be like, oh no, I don't have one. I'd be like, yeah, but that's something I really don't want to talk about right now, just because, I mean, we're still getting to know us, or like still trying to get to know each other. If that's something that's going to like affect this relationship, then cool. We, just have dinner and then we'll part ways. But I really don't want to talk about what happened in it now. This is what I got charged for, kind of like stuff like that, right? Again, I don't have any felonies, so because people would be like, damn, he has a felony. He just doesn't want to tell us. No, you could look my ass up too. Like you can look people up. Like I told people that before. You can look people up and it's going to tell you their record. And if you can't find them, either they haven't done anything or they gave you the wrong name. Because there's like public records you can go and check to make sure, like, I'm sure everybody has to register, right? Like when you're registering cars, ID, all this stuff. Come on now. And from there, like, obviously they attach all your crimes that you've done together. The last crime I've committed, I went 31 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone, and I got off with a warning. So that was the last time I got pulled over. So it was actually not that long ago. I was kind of upset about it, but I was actually watching TikToks and I watch this guy who pulls people over, and the people that give him attitude and are all upset like that and just really don't comply, he gives them tickets. And then the people who are like, ah, shit, yeah, I kind of fucked up, and like honest and whatever, usually get off. So I was like, at first I didn't know why I got pulled over. The cop was in front of me. I was on the side, and then he pulled me over, and he's like, you know why I pulled you over? I was like, honestly, no. I did not know why. And he's like, you're going 31 and a 25. I was like, that was a 25? He's like, it's a 25 to here, but then right here it changes, but you hadn't got to that point. And in my head, I was starting to get upset because I was like, you literally, right before it changed to 35, like you want to put, again, I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, my bad. Like, I thought the whole thing was 35, my bad. Like, then I guess I was speeding. And then he asked for all my information. I gave it to him. And then after that, he's like, I'm gonna let you go off with a warning. So have a nice day. He's like, just slow down and just make sure you pay attention to the speed signs and stuff like that. I was like, yes, sir. And I left. And so I know I'm going off, but the big reason why I wanted to do the podcast was obviously address all these liars, because if somebody is lying to you, you need to evacuate that. Evacuate. You need to leave that relationship ASAP. And then the changing of the names. I definitely want to change the name of the podcast just because it does not fit. And I might wait because I want to figure something out, like, that I want to use. Because it sucks because I won an award last year for the podcast. This year, again, we're nominated. And you know what I mean? Like, but I don't feel like the name fits the podcast. So, I know. We'll see. I'm still, like, in the air about it. So, anyways, I want to thank you guys for listening to this episode. Again, next week, there won't be an episode. I will be coming back from California where I did a podcast episode with Jackie. I'm going to ask her some questions as well. And Melissa. So, definitely be in lookout for those. Shout out to everybody that is going to go to the meet and greet on Thursday, January 20th or 18th from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. LA Live. If you're listening to this, yes, we are going to be out there. So if you want to come say what's up, I'm going to be there. Jackie going to be there as well. So anyways, thank you guys for watching or listening, and I'll see you guys later.